Hello, Monica. Hello, everybody. This is Anushree from the Vedic Experience. Today, we'll be talking about marriage making, karmic bonds, and relationship compatibility. I'll be taking the questions at the end of the session. First, I'll talk about the topic. So this one is the must do when we go for marriages and long-term relationships. However, most of us stick to just Guna Milap. Guna Milap is only on the basis of moon. And what we'll be talking about today is actually the horoscope matching. When we talk about horoscope matching, we look at the vibrations in one horoscope and we compare it to the other horoscope and see that when they blend together, how will they live together? How will they hinder or support each other? So without going for case studies, I will just briefly talk on different topics. Firstly, to make a distinction, there is a major difference between matchmaking and understanding your destiny. We can try to match as much as we want, but many things are fixed by destiny. And when we look at matching, we hardly have any scope or choice when it comes to choosing our life partner, because our life partner is already fixed. So there are some things that we can choose or we can try with caution while selecting a partner when we know there are certain combinations in a horoscope. And in other cases, we can match and do remedies for certain placements. So I'll start. The first thing is your seventh house. Your seventh house is your partner. So there are some criteria that we see while going for a fresh matching. Suppose you don't have anyone you like, or your parents are searching for a partner for you, then this criteria is what you can follow. And if you follow this criteria, then no matter how many gunas you get, no matter what nakshatra it is, you will still do well because you're matching this criteria. This criteria is not based on guna milap or nakshatra. This is solely on the basis of rashi and navamsha. So first is your seventh lord. As I said, the seventh lord is your spouse. So we have different signs of nature. First is the movable signs, which are Aries, Libra, Cancer, and Capricorn. Then we have dual signs, which are Gemini, Sagittarius, Pisces, and Virgo. And finally, we have the fixed signs, which is Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius. Thus, wherever our seventh lord goes, they have that environment will decide what kind of energy we exude in the seventh house. Seventh house is not just our partner, but it's how we interact, what we are looking for. So wherever our seventh lord goes, that same environment should match with the partner we get. Thus, if our seventh lord is in a fixed sign, then our partner's seventh lord also should be in a fixed sign. If our seventh lord is in a dual sign, then our partner's seventh lord also should be in a dual sign. And if our seventh lord is in a movable sign, then definitely our partner's seventh lord should also be in a movable sign. However, this is not always possible. Many a time we get married, but the seventh lord is not matching. So in that case, we have to do remedies. It is better for better compatibility, for better relationship. These seventh lords should match. So if your seventh lord is in movable signs, you have to pray to Durga. If your partner's seventh lord is not in movable sign, then you both should pray to Durga because your seventh lord is in movable sign. Suppose your seventh lord is in movable sign and the partner's seventh lord is in dual sign. Dual signs is Vishnu. And seventh lord in fixed signs is Shiva. So wherever your seventh lord is going, if it is fixed signs, please pray to Shiva for sustenance of your relationship. Seventh lord in dual signs, pray to Vishnu, Narayan for your compatibility and best relationship. And seventh lord in movable signs, pray to Durga. Suppose my seventh lord is in fixed sign. So I should pray to Shiva. Even if I'm not married, to get married, I should pray to Shiva. He will be the one who will get me and align me, my spouse. Suppose my partner's seventh lord is in dual sign. Then he will pray to Vishnu. But because we are married together, I will pray to Shiva. And because his seventh lord is dual sign, I will also have to pray to Vishnu. So we both as a couple, because both our seventh lords are in dual sign and fixed signs, we both will have to pray to Shiva and Vishnu together to sustain our relationship. So this is the first point. Wherever your seventh lord is, whether you're married or not married, or you're trying to get married, try to choose a spouse whose seventh lord is in the same nature of environment, that is Rashi. If it is not, then do these remedies. Then you look at your Dharma Trikon. So as you know, the 9th house is our past and 5th house is our future. Also, it is the Bhavat Bhavam, that is the 9th, is the 5th from the 5th. So Dharma Trikon 1, 5, 9 is very important in matching. The Dharma Trikon signs 1, 5 and 7, 1, 5 and 9, that is Aries, Leo and Sagittarius. What is a marriage? What is a relationship? It is Dharma. We have to be with one partner. And 5th house is the house of love. It is a Purva Punya. It is the love that we have, that we stay with the partner for a long time. So 5 and 9 relationship is very, very important. That is the fundamental basis of our relationship matching. So whenever any planets are 5 by 9, that is trines. So for those who do not know basic astrology, Aries, Leo and Sagittarius, these are trinal signs. So whenever you have any synastries that we talk about, my Venus, your Venus, my Mars, your Mars, or different planets, when we look at the interchanging energies from one person's chart to the other person's chart, this is what we do in horoscope matching. When we say we are matching two charts, we are matching the energies of two charts. So it is very important that there are trinal energies. Of course, it is not true that you'll always have trinal energies, right? You will have someone's planet which is not in a good position. So that will show challenge. But whenever the planets are supportive, be it friendships, be it your supporters, they will always have trinal relationship to your chart, your lagnas. So just to brief you all up, the first signs, fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. These are trines, Dharma trines. Then we have Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. These are the earth trines. Then we have Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. These are the air trines. And then we have the Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. These are the water trines. So these are trinal relationships. You have to always understand this. So if you have your Venus in, say, Cancer, then it is always better for your partner, for the male, to have their Mars in either Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. So this forms the basis of our understanding for relationship matching. You have to know these trinal signs. Even if you do not know astrology, looking at these trinal signs in your chart, you can understand whether they are forming a relationship with someone you know. So your lagna should always be trines or the same, so that you have the same or complementing personalities. 9th house and the 5th house. 5th house is love. So whenever we have a trine connection to somebody, we'll have a love relationship with them. Also, it can be that it is a past life connection. But similarly, 9th house is also past life. 9th and 5th is, so if you are a Libra, then Aquarius or Gemini. If you're a Cancer, then Scorpio or Pisces. So these are forming trinal relationships. So these have to be taken into consideration, not just for moon matching or lagna matching, but also for Venus and Mars. So Venus and Mars are Shiva Shakti. It is the natural 1st house and 7th house of Kala Purusha. Shiva is nothing without Shakti. We need the masculine and the feminine energies. Thus, whatever feminine energy we have, whatever level, whatever percentage of vibration we exude, should match with a certain percentage on the other side. And that match only happens perfectly when it is trines or conjunction. So suppose my Venus is in Cancer. Then if I meet a man who has Cancer Mars, though Mars is debilitated, but because that Cancer Mars is conjunct to my Venus Cancer, it will help me in bringing out the best of my abilities. It's a perfect balance. So Venus Mars is the first matching that we do. We look at the Venus of the man and the Mars of the woman, and the Mars of the woman and the Venus of the woman and the Mars of the man. So we look at these things and we see if they are trines. So trines definitely means they are good. You'll have a good relationship. Even if you do not go for marriage, Venus Mars will always give you attraction, physical attraction. So if your Venus is well placed in your chart, that is your Mars and Venus are trines in your chart, you yourself have the ability to express your love, express your creativity, your passion, because in your chart the vibrations are well balanced. However, in your chart, if your Venus and Mars are Shadashtak, which is 6 by 8, suppose your Venus is in Scorpio and Mars is in Gemini, or it is Cancer and Aquarius, or Virgo and Aries. These are Shadashtak relationships. So just as I said, trinal relationships are very good, very complementing, supportive. Shadashtak, which is 6 by 8, relationships are very challenging. They bring about a lot of transformation, pain, lot of hidden elements, lot of sudden changes, which you're not ready for. 8th house is a house of death, transformation. 6th house is a house of Shatripu, conflicts. And it is also the house of our weaknesses. So whenever we have certain synastries with other people, be our friends, our parents, or our partners, if it is Shadashtak, then they bring out the worst in us. They bring out our weaknesses. They bring out challenges which we are forced to face. Of course, it makes us stronger, but these are very challenging relationships. So whenever we say a Lagna, suppose you are an Aquarius ascendant and your partner is Cancer ascendant, even amid all the other balancing factors, your personalities are conflicting because these are Shadashtak. One person falls the 8th house from the other. So one person is triggering or bringing out the 8th house element of the other, forcing that person to transform, forcing the inner churning. So we don't want all these negative things. Everyone wants everything positive. But in real life situations, everything is not going to be trinal relationship. Everything will not be smooth. So, of course, we may have a Mars-Venus trinal relationship with our partner or Mars-Venus conjunction. But we might have a Rahu-Saturn Shadashtak. My Rahu and the other person's Saturn might be 6 by 8. So there might be some sudden changes, sudden complication because of one person's career. Maybe there is a malefic like Ketu conjunct to other person's benefics or other person's finance houses, Artha Trikon houses. Then I can cause the other person financial drain, or I can become spiritual and not give my energies to that person to boost them financially. So such things are there. So make sure that the relationship of your planets and your partner's planets, if they are Shadashtak, then you have to be able to embrace that and understand why it is Shadashtak. Of course, challenges bring about growth, transformations bring about newness. It's only when you die that you can be reborn. So many times we go through many things because of our partners, but we come out new. We become what we are meant to be. And our partners, that is the 7th house, the Shakti, is the catalyst in our ascension, spiritual ascension. So we cannot spiritually ascend so much alone. As you know, for all pujas that we do in Hindu, in the Sanatana Dharma, we need a partner. Even a Satyanarayan puja is incomplete without a partner. So in life, the best fulfillment is with a partner. There are many spiritualists who do not have a partner, who live their life alone. That is because of something else, because they have completed all their karmas in the previous janam. And this life, they have come for some other reason. They have not come to have children and have a wife and enjoy marital bliss. They have come for other humanitarian and social spiritual purpose. So coming back to the Shadashtak combination, 6 by 8 is not good. So if your Mars is Shadashtak to someone else's Venus, or your Venus is Shadashtak to someone else's Mars, then there can be a lot of sexual attraction at first, but there will be a lot of power control issues. There will be a lot of games and temper issues. There will be fights. So one person will try to control the other, dominate the other person will not allow. So the weaknesses come out. The power control issues are coming at the surface. Definitely, Mars Venus is a starting point where one person's temper is controlled by the other's force. One person wants to achieve everything fast, very, very impulsive. The other person is saying, no, let's wait. So Mars Saturn, then you can have Sun Saturn, when one person's enthusiasm and confidence is restricted by the other. So Shadashta combinations are not good. Then we have 2 by 12. 2 by 12 is when one Rashi, one planet falls 12 from the other. Say one person has Aries Venus and the other person has Taurus Mars. This is one person is gaining, which is second house, and one person is losing. So in this, what happens is this is also not very good when you have synastries in charts, whichever planet you take. Today I'll not be covering all the planets because it will take me forever to take each of the conjunctions and each of the synastries. But just generally, I'm trying to cover. Suppose one person's Mars is in Venus is in Aries and Taurus is in suppose the male's Venus is in Aries and the female's Taurus Mars. Then the male will lose money or the male will lose something because Venus is money, Venus is wealth. So because the male's Venus is falling 12th from the female's Mars, it can show some kind of loss. There'll be some kind of loss or separation or isolation. The 2 by 12 aspects are also not good. The best are trines and conjunctions. There's one more combination which is Samasaptak. Samasaptak is opposition. This is good only when there are certain things like 7 from Venus, 7 from Moon. These are relationship planets. These are receptive planets, Jala Tattva planets. So 7 from Venus, 7 from Moon, they are good if they are supportive planets. However, these are not good when, suppose your 7th Lord is Saturn and the other person's 7th Lord is Mars. Then 7th Lord opposition will be a lot of tug of war. So you have to see which are the planets. Samasaptak is definitely good. 7th Lord, opposition or the relationship like Mars Venus opposition is good because they'll always be attracted. So Mars Venus is the first thing that you'll see even in gay and lesbian couples. Of course, they also have even though they are same sex, it doesn't mean that we are going to match their Venus and Venus or Mars and Mars because they are two males together. Doesn't mean we'll be matching two Mars, the one person's Mars and the other person's Mars. Or if they are lesbian couples, like two females, it doesn't mean that we are going to match one person's Venus and other person's Venus. We have to match Mars Venus because natural Aries is Mars and natural 7th house, whatever the partner may be, whichever sex, whichever LGBT. So 7th house is also viewed more masculine, irrespective of physical, body. One person will be much more masculine and the other person will be much more feminine. So that masculine feminine has to be balanced. Only if that is balanced in your chart will you be able to get that balance in your relationship. If you yourself have a dysfunctional relationship with your energies, masculine and feminine are imbalanced, then you can't go out there in the world. No matter how many people you try to match with, you will not get the balance. So first you check whether your Mars Venus are trines, whether they are conjunct. They should not be Shadashta. Similarly, suppose your Venus in your chart is highly afflicted, or Mars for that matter. For males, it's Mars. For females, it's Venus. But generally, Venus is the Karaka for relationships. If Venus is highly afflicted in your chart, and suppose you have Venus, which is Ashtam, 8th from Rahu, or Rahu, 8th from your Venus, you will be attracted towards a lot of toxic relationships throughout your life. Your sexuality will be dysfunctional. Because of your inherent nature, you may attract toxic people in your life. It doesn't mean that the people whom you are meeting are bad or they cheated you or something, because you have that energy inside your chart that will make you end up with such people. Suppose you have Venus trine Ketu, Venus conjunct Ketu. You will have a very spiritual element. At first, you'll be having a lot of problems in relationship. And thereafter, once you age, you'll have a lot of spiritual interest. And that spiritual interest is what will sustain your relationship. So you have to see the inherent chart first, the person's chart, and then go and match out. If your Venus is highly afflicted, it doesn't make sense if your partner has an exalted Venus. Definitely, our partner complements and supplements us. Whatever energies we have missing, the other person provides for, and they help us in our purpose. So definitely, the partner having a good energy will help. So this is about the 5/9, the 6/8, and the 2/12 energies. Another energy that we have is very good for communication, for friendship, for support, for taking the action. Like when you have a relationship, you fall in and out of love. The marriage comes to a crisis because nobody's taking interest, right? Everyone is busy. Or you're bogged down by the family responsibilities of children and work, that you're not taking time for each other. And this last combination is very good, especially for that, because they will always get involved. They treat each other like friends. And that combination is 3/11. Suppose your Sun, another person's Jupiter, or your Mercury, another person's Venus, or your Mars and Venus. So whichever planets are 3/11. One person, suppose planet is in Libra Venus, and the other person's Mars is in Sagittarius, or vice versa. Then it means one person will reach out to the other. So one person is putting all the efforts, third house, parakram, initiatives, and the other person is getting the gains. So this relationship also is very good after 5/9. So 5/9 is the first, second is 3/11. So Libra, Sagittarius, Aries, Gemini, Aquarius and Aries. So these are the 3/7, 3/11 relationships. So if you have any planets like this, it is good, except Saturn, because Saturn, what it will do is that Saturn 3/11 to Sun, because Saturn is supposed in Aries and Sun is in Gemini, then Saturn will aspect that Sun. So over here it is a little bit restrictive. However, other planets do not have third aspect. So in other cases, it is good, comparatively good. It will help because third house is the house of upachaya, growth. You're not at one place. If you have a fight, you talk, you resolve, you grow. It's a upachaya. Third house and 11th house, these are upachaya. So even if you are at a very bad compatibility, you can improve. So 3/11 is a very good combination for planets, Mars, Venus, or say Venus, Mercury, to have in couples. So when you match, make sure that you match these planets if they are not 5/9 or 3/11. And if your planets, that is you and your partner's planets, are falling in 6/8, then you have to work on the challenges that those planets will bring. You have to be ready for it. Mars Venus conjunction, lot of sex, lot of sexual attraction, but Saturn Rahu will be Shirashtak, or Sun and Saturn will be Shirashtak. Then one person will hurt the other person's ego. Suppose Sun and Rahu is close conjunct. The nodal equation is very, very important in compatibility, and also Saturn, because Saturn and Rahu, both these are natural 11th lords of Aquarius. So natural 11th lord, they are the Badaka, but Saturn is karma. It is where you have karma. That is why you are with a person, right? So Saturn is a karmic planet. Rahu is a karmic planet too, but Rahu is very desirous. It is the karaka for rebirth. So many a times, though Mars, Venus conjunctions or 7th Lord, Navamsha do not align, we meet such people in our lives where we are into them, while we are involved with them, or we are in love with them for a short time. We pay our debt, we learn the lesson, and then we have to move on, sometimes quite painfully. And those relationships exactly are the conjunctions of Saturn and Rahu with other planets, especially Saturn with Mars, Saturn with Venus. These can bring a lot of karmic relationships. Saturn with Tithi Lord. So in Pancham, we have Tithi. So depending on what your Tithi Lord is, for example, today is Saptami. Saptami is Saturn. So if Saturn is your Tithi Lord and is conjunct Rahu, then definitely a lot of unconventional or sudden relationship will come in your life. You will have a lot of illusions regarding that. So if Saturn is associated to your relationship planet, especially Venus, Mars, then definitely maturity will come after 36. If Rahu or Ketu are associated to your Mars, Venus, or your 7th Lord, then definitely maturity and a lot of change will come after your 42 or 48 age. Many a times, Rahu Ketu are associated with a Naga dosha or a Kala Sarpa, wherein Venus or Mars is associated to that axis. In which case, Even if you are destined with a partner, the partner is good, relationship is pretty good. Because of that Kala Sarpa dosha, because of the Naga dosha, you will be stuck in illusions. There'll be an entrapment. And certain issues will be there for you till 42 to 48. So many times Rahu or Ketu are in 1 by 7 axis, that is the first house or the 7th house of your Rashi chart or your Navamsha chart. So in this case, what will happen? The person will be under a loop till 40s, 40 to 48. So Saturn and Rahu conjunctions are very, very important. Understand that Rahu is our drive, it's our desire. Rahu is future, Ketu is past. So as much as Rahu conjunctions give us the glue in relationships, especially Venus, Rahu. When your Venus is conjunct someone else's Rahu, that means you have, suppose Venus right now, Venus is in Cancer. Suppose you have Venus in Cancer and the other person has Venus in Rahu in Cancer, then it's a very highly sexually attractive combination. You'll always be sexually attracted towards each other. Rahu will always be fascinated by what the Venus person has to provide. And the Venus person will also be allured by the Rahu person. So Venus Rahu is highly, it keeps the couple in that attraction loop. It is like Maya. It is not very physical at a as the same as Venus Mars, because Venus Mars is Deha Karaka, it's a body. So Venus Mars is more about physical passion. Venus Rahu is not just physical passion, it's much more, it's beyond that. It's like I'm in full control of you, mind, body, and soul. Because Rahu is a snake. Rahu is an illusion, it's a smoke. You don't know why you want this person. So Rahu conjunctions can be tricky, they can be very toxic, they can entail a lot of manipulation. Venus-Mars conjunctions, Venus-Mars energies together between couples, they can be physical, but they can also be temperamental, depending on how the Mars is. For example, one person has Venus in Cancer, other person has Mars in Cancer. Note that Venus in Cancer is not happy because it's a water sign, so it is unstable Venus. And Mars in Cancer is also not good because it is a debilitation sign. So it will be passive aggressive. So even though you say that Cancer Mars and Cancer Venus are sexually attractive, physically compatible, but one person will have an issue basically due to temperament. They'll be passive aggressive. So doesn't mean that just because someone's Venus and Mars are close conjunct, they will be perfect. They will be depending on where the planet is falling, what bhava it is falling, and how it is, the dignity. So this has to be understood. So Venus Mars, as I said, is more physical. It's competitive. It's more temperamental as well. Physical energy is more in Venus Mars associations, be it trinal or be it conjunction. So whenever partners have Venus Mars conjunction, Venus Mars trinal, these people should not stay away. Many times, you have couples who are separated because of work, or they have to go to a different country. These people should not be separated. They should try to live together always, because they need each other. They need each other's body. They need each other's energy to drive each other. They're very passionately driving each other, a driving force towards each other. However, Venus Rahu works differently. Venus Rahu is very, it is fixated. It's obsessive. Whenever Rahu comes into picture, it's always obsessive. Similarly, Moon Rahu, one person's Moon over other person's Rahu, or vice versa. This is also an emotionally fixated combination. We can get obsessed about someone whose Rahu falls on our Moon. So this may not really translate into a very healthy relationship, because a lot of emotional tug of war, emotional manipulation can come in this picture. So Moon Rahu, I would not say it is good for long-term relationship. It will be a lot of emotional instability. One person's Rahu is sitting on your Moon. It means that you always have some insecurity, because Moon is comfort, peace, and Rahu is chaos. It's Vayu, it's a tornado. So when someone else's Rahu is on our Moon, we are not going to be at peace. We might feel fixated, we might feel obsessed, but will not be at peace. So Moon Rahu combinations, I would not say they are good, but they keep the two people together, because they are always thinking about each other. They're always worried about each other. So that is about Moon Rahu. Now, Ketu combinations. Ketu in synastry. Ketu is a past life planet. It's a tail. It is detachment, disinterest, Karaka for separation. So Ketu conjunctions are not welcome. Just like Rahu is obsessive, amplifying, magnifying effect, it can expand. Rahu can expand, and Ketu can take away. So Ketu conjunction. So your Venus conjunct to someone else's Ketu. Initially, you'll have a lot of familiarity. You'll have even a sexual interest because it is opposite Rahu. Rahu will aspect. So Venus Rahu, Venus Ketu. Venus Ketu is much more spiritual. It will be much more familiar. However, it will not last. If you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a spouse who has Ketu conjunct to your Venus or Ketu conjunct to your Mars, definitely at first there'll be a lot of sparks, but eventually as time progresses, the relationship will need a lot of spiritual inclination to sustain. It will not be, fireflies and sparks. It will be very mellow. It will be very aloof. So Venus Ketu conjunctions, Mars Ketu is also not good for the male. If a male has Mars and the female has Ketu on the same sign, then definitely over time they will be able to resolve their anger and aggressive tendencies, some fights that they had in the past life. This life they meet and they resolve it. So at first they'll meet, they'll have a lot of energy transfer, a lot of passion, a lot of support, because Mars is like a brotherly planet. It's a brotherhood. It's about competition, energy. It's about protecting and security. So at first they can offer each other these themes, but eventually they will wither away. So Mars Ketu, if someone is very temperamental, other person's Ketu can help in destabilizing them or stabilizing them. However, Mars Rahu is totally not accepted. Someone's Mars, especially a female's Mars, which represents her spouse, in one sign, conjunct to someone else's Rahu in the same sign or trinal, is not good for marriage. It will have a lot of aggravation of fights, because Mars is the Karaka of the third house and also the sixth house, right? Mars is fighting, warrior. So if someone else is instigating and triggering your Mars all the time, what is going to happen? Will you be at peace? Will you be able to be receptive, harmonious, the Libra zone? No. You'll always be fighting. So your Mars conjunct to Rahu, definitely it is like a boyfriend combination. There are many times we see that someone's Mars is conjunct to the female's Mars is conjunct to the male's Rahu in the same sign. They meet, they have a relationship, and then they fight a lot and they break apart. But they're supposed to have that karma. So Mars Rahu is not good. I have so many questions here. I will address one by one, okay? Somebody is asking, is choosing spouse in our hand choice? No, choosing spouse is not in your hand. There's a reason many people are single, because they don't have the karma of children or spouse. I'm here sitting here and I have to, be with my spouse. I'm destined to be in US, be with him. I can't leave US and go back to homeland because I have a contract with him. Somebody else has a contract and somebody may be divorced in 6 months, had annulment because it's over. Somebody else had a 10 years marriage and then they got divorced. Somebody else, they lived so long, but the person died. So depending on what is the karma with that person, because remember, spouse is non-blood. With all others, father, mother, siblings, it's blood. Even your child is blood. But spouse is non-blood. So there has to be strong karma with that person to spend, be either under one roof, or even if you're married. Like, there are many people who are married, but they don't stay together. But still, as per dharma, as per legality, as for children, they are a married couple. So they have the karma of being together or being each other's spouses. So we can't decide. Seventh house is the house of rebirth. Seventh house is the house of rebirth. It's also the maraka. And it's also the house of spouse. So we are taking rebirth for a reason. There are many. It is also the bhavat bhavam of the 10th house, right? 7th house is the bhavat bhavam of the 10th, the career, the karmas. So we have a lot of karmas pending. That's why we're born. So we can't choose a spouse. Matching, mostly it's a business. sorry to say, in astrology, most people try to match. You don't really have the room, but as much as we can educate ourselves, how we can match. So there are some things, as I said, seventh lord, we can see how to match it. I will tell you all now how to match the chart. So there is Guna Milak, which we see for different, your nakshatra, your rashi, your lagna. That is one thing that I'm not going to talk about today. Today, I will talk about how to match the synastries, which I already spoken about, like trines, conjunction. That is one thing. You see, this is good or bad. If it is bad, work it out. If it is good, then you take support of those planets. Now, in your chart, now look at your chart and see, as I said, seventh lord in fixed sign, seventh lord in dual sign, seventh lord in movable sign. You find out at first. Then how to find out what partner you will get. So you have to match your seventh lord. Whatever your seventh lord is, your partner should have either the same planet as their lagna, or that planet or your seventh lord should be their lagnesh. I mean, suppose your seventh lord is Mars, then your partner will either have Mars in their lagna, irrespective of whatever lagna they have, Mars in lagna, or they'll have the lagnesh as Mars, that is Aries or Scorpio, or they'll have their lagnesh sitting somewhere with Mars, or their lagnesh in Mars nakshatra. So there'll always be some energy that you welcome. It is fixed. So when you're saying, do you have a choice? You don't have a choice, because your seventh lord is sitting somewhere. Seventh lord is for first marriage. Second lord is for second marriage. So this is, and so on. So for second lord who's already married, they'll see the second lord. Today morning, I got a remarriage question. So for that person, I'll be looking at the second lord. Where is second lord sitting? Wherever second lord is sitting, I'll look at the second lord sign. I'll look at the planet. And whoever is coming in their life, that person will have that planet prominent. Or they'll have their lagnesh sitting with that planet. Or they'll have the lagnesh sitting in the nakshatra. For example, suppose seventh lord is Mars. And Mars is in Jyeshta. Then this person will get someone who is having either Mars in lagna, or a Martian lagna, or their lagnesh in Martian signs, or suppose Mars is in Jyeshta, or they'll have their lagnesh in Mercury sign, because nakshatra lord of seventh lord is very important. So suppose seventh lord is in Jyeshta, you not only take Mars as the dispositor of the seventh lord, but you also take Mercury as the nakshatra lord. So dispositor of seventh lord and nakshatra lord will be very, very important. So these two planets are going to be tracking down where your spouse is coming from. You may meet 10 people for the first marriage, but all those 10 people will be similar. We all have a fixed. That is why we are born on a particular ascendant, right? The ascendant doesn't change. For all Libra ascendants, 7th house is Mars. Even if they have 20 marriages, all their partners will be a little bit aggressive. For all Capricorn ascendants, of course, second marriage is second house or 9th house. But for all Capricorn ascendants, their partners will have some emotional moon quality. Even if they have 10 partners. So it is fixed. It will not change. That is how, that is the 7th house. So that is why 7th lord is very important. 7th lord dispositor, 7th lord nakshatra. So the partner will have the same energies. The partner should have some relation of their lagna, or their 5th lord, or their 9th lord to these. Now again, coming to 5th and 9th, as I said, 5th and 9th is very important. Trinal connection is very important. So suppose your 7th lord is associated to their 5th lord, or your 5th lord is associated to their lagna. So you have to make a connection this way. Your 5th lord, your 9th lord to their lagna or 7th lord, and vice versa. So suppose your 5th lord is Saturn. So your Saturn should be in their lagna, or their lagnesh, or sitting with their lagnesh, or their lagnesh should be in your 5th lord nakshatra. So there should always be this relation. So the answer is that you don't have a choice. It is always going to be fixed in this manner. So when you're going for marriage making, more than the guna and all that, when you have suppose 4-5 suitors, you're going for arranged marriage, then you check whether that person is exuding this trait of your 7th lord. If your 7th lord is, suppose as I said, 7th lord in Jyeshta, then that person, it is Mars in Jyeshta, then that person will have some Mars element. If not Lagnesh with Mars, if not Lagnesh in Mars Nakshatra, at least the person will be Mars Atmakaraka. That person will have highest degree of that energy. So you're going to map somehow to this person. Then you look at ninth, as I said, ninth house is Dharma, and fifth house is Purva Punya, love. If your fifth house is associated by any way to the partner's Lagna, then definitely this is a past life desire, past life association. Many times people were lovers in the past life and then they come together, especially the Navamsha. So if your seventh lord of your Navamsha chart, seventh lord is connected to the fifth house of your spouse, definitely you are their past life love or past life relationship, romantic relationship you have had. Or because fifth house, when a couple comes together, why they come together? Why people marry? People marry because they want to reproduce. They want to have a lineage. So fifth house is the house of children. Fifth house is the house of love. Some people, they don't have children, but they still love. They have bhakti. They have certain changes that they bring about. They create something else. Not everyone creates children. Some people come to build, spiritual organizations and educational organizations. For them, these educational organizations are like their babies. So I've seen many couples coming together, and they do not have children, but they build empires. They build for the community. So not all marriages end up with children. Some of them come together because they have a higher purpose. So anyways, fifth house connection is very important. Seventh lord of Navamsha, if it sits in the fifth house of your partner, or if your seventh lord is the fifth lord of your partner, or your seventh lord is associated to the fifth lord of your partner, as I said, by dispositor, by nakshatra, then definitely there's a past life connection. Also, your seventh lord, your seventh lord should be associated to the lagna of your partner. Suppose your seventh lord is Mercury in Navamsha, then your partner's lagna should be either Mercury, that is the partner should be a Gemini or a Virgo. If your seventh lord of Navamsha is, say, Mercury, seventh lord, not the planet in the seventh house, seventh lord of Navamsha is Mercury, then your partner will either be a Gemini or a Virgo ascendant, or will have Mercury in Lagna, or will have Lagnesh in Mercurial sign, Gemini or Virgo, or Lagnesh in Mercury Nakshatra. This is always the link. This will never change. This will always somehow align. Your 1, 5, and 9 will map to your spouse. You get 100 charts and you check this. This will never fail. So trinal relationship will be there. The person has to connect to your future. Then seventh lord of Rashi chart and Venus have 6/8 relationship. How to solve this? You cannot solve it. Is it your chart? See, Venus in general is relationship, Rameshji, but Venus can be many things. Venus for Aquarius ascendant is Badaka. Venus for a Sagittarius ascendant is 6th lord of Prarabdha. So you have to see how it is related. I cannot really tell you because, as I said, 5/9 or conjunctions. Note that not all conjunctions are good. Mars Venus is good, but what if Mars is your 8th lord, or what if Mars is your 6th lord? Mars being your 6th lord, you're always fighting. Mars being your 3rd lord is conjunct to that person's Venus. You're always going to fight with that person. You will be the one who is going to exude that fighting spirit. So it is not just the planets, it is the energies of the planet that matter a lot. When you talk about Venus is generally relationship, but Venus is many things. Venus is Badakesha for Aquarius. Venus is, as I said, 6th lord for Taurus. Venus is Badakesha for Cancer ascendants. So how is it, manifesting in Navamsha is very important. 7th lord of Rashi chart and Venus having 6/8 relationship. This is one issue for a male. Okay. However, it is not the final problem. You have to also see how that 7th lord is gone in Navamsha. As you know, we have, as I said, 6/8 is a very challenging combination. Every planet in the Rashi chart, you have to see how it is gone in Navamsha. For example, if you're not just planet, also the Lagna. So suppose you are a Libra ascendant in your Rashi chart, then Libra ascendant manifesting to Navamsha as Pisces or Taurus is not good. That means after marriage, their life will change 360 degrees. After marriage, they'll have either a lot of litigation, fights, diseases, conflict, because it is Pisces ascendant in Navamsha, or a lot of chronic issues, in-laws problems, death-like suffering, transformation, or interest occurs because it's a Taurus ascendant. Similarly, if Venus or 7th lord or whatever lord you are saying from the Rashi chart goes to 8 places away. Suppose, so suppose your Venus is in Gemini, in D1. And in Capricorn, suppose Venus is in the 12th house, but Venus is in Capricorn. In Navamsha, suppose Venus is in 12th house or 4th house, Digbari. Venus is exalted in the 12th house as per Bhava. 4th house, it is Digbari. Suppose Venus is 4th house or 12th house, but suppose Venus is in Capricorn. Then will you say it is good? It is not good, because Venus has gone from Gemini, whatever its nature, environment, whatever its vibration at birth, it is gone Ashtam to Navamsha, which means after marriage or after late years, after 35, you will have a lot of changes. You'll have to let go of something. You'll have to die deep down to bring to that, to, get that. Also, we say that sometimes planets are exalted. They are saying if the planet is exalted, it's very good. Actually, it is good for spirituality. Exalted planet means higher status, which means more expectation, which means more hard work. You're not going to get easily impressed. Someone whose Venus is exalted is looking for an Apsara, or is looking for someone who is out of the world. They are going to be disappointed. So Venus or Jupiter or Mars, which are the relationship planet. Jupiter is the Karaka for Akash Tattva, right? Jupiter is the Karaka for understanding, acceptance. Jupiter in Lagna, in Navamsha, or any planet such as Jupiter Atma Karaka, or 7th Lord Jupiter in Sagittarius or Pisces Navamsha in Navamsha chart shows somebody who is going to be very accepting. But that is not always right, because Trayodashi, Panchami are Jupiter Tithi lords, and when these Tithi lords are there in the Kundli, these people with Jupiter Tithi lords usually are stuck in toxic relationship for a very long time. They know they have to be out. They know this person is not good. Still, they will be, because Jupiter has the nature. Jupiter also accepted his own illegitimate child. So Jupiter, you're saying Jupiter is good, but Jupiter also has a negative side. So every planet has a positive and negative side. You have to see how it is manifesting. Many a time you say Jupiter is respecting 7th house, okay, this marriage will be saved. But actually the marriage is saved because the wife is putting up with the nonsense of the husband. The wife is bearing, literally stressing out and getting chronic diseases, but bearing and somehow staying in the marriage. So Jupiter aspect, you say, oh wow, the marriage is saved. But the spouse is actually dying inside. Saving the marriage, dharma, for children, for Jupiter. But what they are going through, only they know. So whenever you see something, don't get excited just by seeing an exalted planet or planet aspecting somewhere. Just because it is aspecting doesn't mean it is beneficial. Karmically, they are stuck, because Jupiter is the Akash Tattva planet. It blends together everything. It is a social interaction. It is a natural dharma, right? So Jupiter will hold. Venus is what? Venus is a Rajasic planet. Venus, natural 2nd house, Kutumba, speech, and 7th house of business, harmony. So Venus has a different agenda. So when you're talking about 7th lord with Venus, you have to see what is 7th lord. Is 7th lord Sun? Sun is inimical to Venus. Even Saturn's Venus are not that good. Suppose what if 7th lord is Mars? If 7th lord is Mars and it is Shadashtak to Venus, it is not going to be good for that person, because that person will exude a lot of dominion over sexual matters. Person will want a lot of power control in the relationship, because their own Venus Mars are Shadashtak. So this is how we try to interpret. So when the question of Gandant, I will not cover here today, but just to give you a brief, Gandant is a point which is between the fire, water to fire. Okay, from water to fire. Why it is Gandant? It is a knot. It is stuck in a karmic knot. It has to learn something. That planet has to learn something, and there's a lot of struggle to let go, because water is moksha trikon and fire is dharma. So they have to understand at a very paternal debris. You can say it's more of the emotional pattern that one has to let go. What is water? Water is emotions. We all have a memory, right? All are so from a Mercurial nakshatra to a Ketu nakshatra. So it is going from Mercury, which is Prithvi, to Ketu, which is Agni. From water, Moksha Trikon, it is going to Dharma Trikon. They have to surpass the emotional realm and go to the spiritual or the Dharma realm. That is the lesson of Gandant. Basically, depending on where it is, depending on how it is placed, it's Matri or Pitri Gandant, whether what nakshatra, but Jyeshta is the most difficult knot, Jyeshta Mura. If it is Cancer, Leo, it is Matri, Pitri, Gandant. For Aries and Pisces, it's a different thing where it is more about the ancestral things, because Revati is Pushan, Revati is the guardian of the souls, and Ashwini is the first start, the beginning of the zodiac, the cosmos. So there it is something about starting something new, or coming up with a seed in Aries. So depending on what Gandant it is, the themes, the lessons, the challenge, the karmic suffering, the emotional blockage is different. But most of these Gandants are translated into emotional blockages, mostly due to paternal or maternal ancestral debris. So whenever you see a Gandant in the chart, you note that the Jiva Karaka of that particular planet in the ancestry. Now, Jiva Karaka means for a celestial ascendant. Suppose Venus is Gandant. Venus is maternal family, right? Venus is also 11th lord, means Venus can be the father's younger brother, means your older brother. So you have to see the Bhava Karaka. When Venus is Gandant for a celestial ascendant, 6th lord, 11th lord Gandant. Maternal uncle, father's younger brother, your older sibling, many things. So these people, for them, these Jivakarakas will have issues. First of all, these Jivakarakas will be stuck somewhere in the Venus Karaka Tattvas. It means that the females in your ancestry, because Venus represents maternal family. So maternal family will have a major dosha. So when Venus is Gandant, you not just know relationship problem or wealth problem, no. You have to look at the basic Stira Karaka and the basic Karakas. So you look at the root cause, you look at the ancestry level. So whenever planet is Gandant, it means that basically there's a karmic knot, there's a karmic lesson, there is an emotional blockage which you have to go. Usually they recommend reciting or reading Puranas, Ganesh Puran, because Ketu is what? It is the closure of the Gandant. It starts with Mercury, then it ends with Ketu. So Ganesh Puran is excellent if you can, chant it or recite it is very good. Any Ganesh sadhana is very good for coming out of the knot. As you know, Ketu is also the rope, right? Ketu is the tail. And what is Gandant? Gandant is the extension. It is a fence from water to fire. Depending on what Gandant it is, a water sign Gandant is much better because he's not yet dipped in fire. He's still stuck in the emotional realm. But you look at Magha, 0 degree, or some 0 degree few minutes. Magha is already after the water, he's gone into the fire and he's like, just come out. So a planet in a fire sign, Gandant, behaves differently compared to a planet in a water sign. Water sign, he's still not out of the knot. He's still stuck. So the issues are much deeper in water signs because they have memory. They have emotional knot. So Gandant planet in a water sign is much more difficult because they have not crossed it. However, Gandant planet in fire sign is Mura, he's almost Ashlesha, controlling Naga behaviors. Because though they are 0, they are a baby, 0 degree Magha. They are not Magha yet. They're coming with the emotional patterns, the behavioral patterns of Ashlesha. So all the Gandant, you have to look at the root causes, look at how the planet is behaving. So Venus in Mura will behave like Venus in Jyeshta, all controlling, trauma, sexual things, all these things will be there. There'll be women in the family who will be abused. There'll be a lot of rape, a lot of abuse history, a lot of pelvic related diseases, a lot of fertility issues in the family, a lot of deaths, a lot of tantric and occult practices. When Venus is in Scorpio, suppose Venus is in Ketu Nakshatra Mula, it will show that the family is into this. So note that a planet is not just your planet, it is your full family. Your full family tree is that planet. So you have to identify the root causes, how it is, why is your Venus so and so? Venus is because not just your Venus, it is also your, for example, I'm a Libra ascendant. Venus is not just my Lagnesh. Venus is also my 8th lord. So Venus will also show my in-laws. Venus will also show my maternal family. So whatever karma I associate to that Venus will be attributed to my maternal family, to my in-laws as well. The karma is shared. So when you look at your own thing, you cannot just unlock your treasure box, your Pandora box. You have to unlock the full family tree. So Moon Atma Karaka in the 11th house, Jyeshta Gandant. So Moon Atma Karaka, 11th house, Jyeshta means you are a Capricorn ascendant, 7th Lord Gandant. So you're not married, right? And it is in Badaka also. Yeah, so you're not married. There's a Badak problem here. So you pray to the Taurus, try to chant Ekadantaya Hum. The mantra Ekadantaya Hum or Ekadantaya, because Ekadanta is the Ganesh mantra of Taurus. Your Badaka, 7th Lord, your 7th Lord, Atma Karaka, is sitting in the 11th house, Badaka. So the 7th from the Badaka is Taurus. So if you start chanting or any Devi mantra, Taurus related or Ganesh mantra, Ganesh specifically, Bija will be Hum to remove the problem, but the name is Ekadanta, Ekadantaya. Even the Gayatri mantra you can do, Ekadantaya Vidmahe Vakratundaya Dhimahi, you can do that. So that you have to do, but this is basically to do with past life. Now, 11th house is the house of desire. Why your 7th Lord is gone to the 11th house of networks, your own friends? Some issue will be there in with your father's younger brother. Find out. Some issue will be there with your maternal grandmother. Why? Moon is your 7th Lord. 7th Lord is mother's mother. So the relationship issue that you are having is not just yours, is stemming out from your maternal grandmother, also your father's family. Because the 10th house, the 7th house is not just your maternal grandmother, it's your 10th on the 10th, father's family. The 11th house is not just your desires, your friends, your elder sibling, but your father's younger brother. So some karmic, behavioral things, some things have been transferred to you. So Moon Gandant is not is a problem, and Atmakaraka Gandant is lot of emotional suffering. Please pray to Gauri. Moon Atmakaraka, you have to pray to Gauri as Pratyadi Devta. So you can start with the mantra Sarva Mangale Mangale Shive Sarvata Sadike Sharan Netrambake Gauri Narayani Namostute. You can do this every day. So I hope I have answered your question, Nidhi. Which Antardasha you have already answered, Biru. You have already asked me the question, so I'll skip that. Which Antardasha we generally get married depending on whatever the dasha is of your 7th Lord, the planet in the 7th house in Navamsha, you can get married. However, majorly whenever Rahu Ketu transits happen on a Tithi Lord, on a 7th Lord or 7th house in Navamsha or Rashi, there is some karmic activity with relations. Doesn't mean that we'll get married. However, double transits of Saturn and Jupiter play a very important role in getting us together. Jupiter normally gives you hope, faith, but Saturn is what finalizes the deal. Jupiter gives the ceremony, the community aspect, people in acknowledging that you're married. Jupiter gives you that. And Saturn gives you commitment, seriousness, and responsibility. So when Saturn and Jupiter both are karmically aligned in your chart, in transit and dasha, in such a way that it is, solidifying the aspect, you can get married. Irrespective of what dasha. Dasha depends which Vimshottari, again, there's a trick here because Vimshottari depends on various factors. Your strongest lord, if you look at Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra, the choice of Vimshottari is on different levels. You can also use conditional Vimshottari. So depending on what Vimshottari, you might get confused because you may actually not be going through that dasha. For example, moon in the 3rd house, 11th house, I would use Vimshottari from Utpannatara. Okay, for a Lagna Vargottama, I would use a particular dasha. I would not use Vimshottari, normal Vimshottari. Some people use Kala Chakra dasha. The best way for karmic alignment, you can even check Mula Dasha. So Dasha, I would not really be able to comment here which Dasha will get married. However, when certain planets such as Rahu, Ketu, Jupiter, when these are aligned to your 7th Lord, Tithi Lord, 7th house in Navamsha, then definitely some long-term events take place, especially double transit of Saturn and Jupiter. So these are very, very concrete that they give events. Many times the person is not supposed to get married. So no matter how many Saturn, Jupiter transits and double transits keep on coming, they stay single. So that is something else. So before checking the Antardasha or the transit, you have to check whether the person is destined to get married or not. Person with the 7th Lord debilitated Gandant, person with 7th Lord debilitated in Navamsha, Tithi Lord Gandant, Tithi Lord Sandhi, such people, it is difficult for them to get married. So 7th Lord Gandant, 7th Lord debilitated, Tithi, they have a Tithi Gandant, that is when you're born at the edge of a Tithi. So no matter how many transits, double transits come, they will not get married. Tameshi, I've already answered one question of yours. I hope you all have subscribed to my channel. If you are watching this video, please subscribe, like the videos, and do comment about what your thoughts are on this presentation. Jay, I'll take your question. The role of yoni. Yoni is an animal. It's our emotional compatibility and our sexual behaviors. Yoni is the size of your organ. So basically, it plays a very important role in the creation. As you know Kamakhya, right? What is Kamakhya? Kamakhya Devi. She represents Yoni. Do you know the nakshatra Bharani in Aries? Aries is the first sign. Bharani is vulva. It is the vagina. So that vagina has a very important, it is not just sexual organ. It is a creation of everything. So Yoni in Nakshatra Guna matches the creation of thoughts, creation of reality. Everything that you create, you're born in this life, you're not just going to eat, sleep, and drink and die. You will create something. That creation starts from there. The Shakti, the 7th house, is that. Libra is that. So, Yoni, we match Yoni because it is the temperament. All the thoughts, all our natural 3rd house, Gemini, is what? Subconscious, our perception, our thoughts, right? So, when we sexually unite in the natural Kama Trikona, 3, 7, 11. 3rd is the Methunya Sthana. That's why Methunya Sthana is Kamakhya, right? Kamakhya Devi. So 3rd house, 7th house, 11th house. So this Yoni is very important because it's the Kama Trikona. What we do in our life, 3rd house of action, 7th house of union with others. We can't stay on the tree. We have to interact, come together with people, union, even to create offspring. 11th house of desire. So these 3, 7, 11 is controlled by Yoni. That is why Yoni is very important. Yoni is the animal. It shows the size of your organ. It also shows your emotional compatibility. For example, a mouse will behave like a mouse. They can mate anywhere, even in dirt. Okay, a buffalo will behave like buffalo. A snake, Yoni, will behave like a snake. They will be sexually they'll be like that. Uttara Falguni Nakshatra, say Uttara Bhadra. Right now, Rahu is in Uttara Bhadra. It is a cow. A cow will be inimical towards a Vishaka or a Chitra because Vishaka Chitra is tiger. Purva Bhadrapada is lion. So you have to understand that if you are a particular person, Yoni will tell not just your sexual, play, how you control in bed, how you are with the other person. Will you kill that person if you're mating, or will you be nice with that person? Will you come together to create a good offspring, or will you be, overpowering that person? Also, your physical traits, your natural mental, because this is the nakshatra of the moon. Moon is mind. So it's emotional compatibility also. Are you like a lion or are you like a cow? Are you like a mouse or are you like a dog? It doesn't mean that you become the animal, but definitely you will exude a lot of those traits. For example, people with snake yoni are very secretive. People with lion yoni are very regal, like Purva Bhadrapada. People with Magha, if you know, Magha is the throne, but Magha is a rat. Magha's other partner is Purva Falguni. Purva Falguni, it is different because it's a Venusian nakshatra. But Magha, Ketu is slightly, so they have issues. It's about progeny, lineage. You know how many times a rat can have sex? They can just copulate. And what is Magha? Magha is that. It's about the lineage, procreation. So yoni is very important. It tells not just about your organ, its size, the depth and the width of your organ, be it male organ or female organ, but it also tells you about your emotional compatibility. That is why we match sexual compatibility, because you can't have a rat mating with a elephant. A Bharani Nakshatra will not do well with Magha. Not because they'll be sexually misfit, even if their Mars and Venus are conjunct somewhere, they will not be able to sexually, be good with each other, but they will also be emotionally different. Can you imagine a rat mating with a elephant? Emotionally, they're different, right? It is not just getting two organs into one place. So that is why our Shastras have this beautiful science where we match not just the synastries of horoscope, we look at two charts and match the planets, but we look at the Guna Milap, where we look at the Yoni. Yoni has other things as well, where we look at progeny from Yoni. But basic emotional nature is, I would say, the main point, because your body will get tired. You cannot have sex till 90s, right? You have to live with your partner. First few years you'll have sex. Usually sex was supposed to be only for procreation, not for fun. So yoni matching from the bodily part was fine. But that yoni, will it be useful throughout your life, like for 70, 50 years? No. It is an emotional, how you feel. Can a tiger and a cow stay together in one house? I think I answered your question. So, Turkish drama tube. Sorry, I'll not be answering your question because it's about the complications that you have given. It's about your chart. So seventh lord is here and Kambas. I really can't say that because I don't have much information to comment. Now, as per Jay has commented, Dara Karaka. So Dara Karaka is the least developed planet in your chart. It is the lowest degree planet, which means that you are yet to learn a lot of things about that planet in this life, or you have not done things well in the last life. So just suppose Moon is your Atma Karaka. It means you need to learn compassion, or you have not dealt with the parenting, nurturing, home aspect in the past life. So Dara Karaka shows our underdeveloped self. It is the Dara, the seventh house. As you know, fifth house is Sutta Bhava, child. Seventh house is the Dara Bhava. Seventh is, so Dara is also the second house of family, money, and business as well. So when you look at business, when you look at partner, Dara Karaka plays a very important role. It is the partner that we want to, whom we want to complete. I mean, we want that person to complete us. Right? So Dara Karaka is very important. The Dara Karaka should not be inimical to your Atma Karaka. The Dara Karaka should not be, if you have a Dara Karaka, it is advisable to have somebody, God willingly, who has exalted Dara Karaka. Suppose your Dara Karaka is Mercury, you will feel good with the Mercury Atma Karaka. You will, because that person exudes that vibration which you lack. Suppose you are a Mercury Dara Karaka, you will feel good and elevated with someone who is a Virgo ascendant, because their ascendant, their physical embodiment exudes your lack. Whatever you lack, they are exuding it, and you are attracted to that. So Mercury Dara Karaka, for example, will be attracted towards Mercury Atma Karaka. Definitely for a matchmaking, it is very good. Mercury Dara Karaka with Mercury Atma Karaka. It also means that you have a lot to learn from them, or you will have a lesson to learn depending on how your Atma Karaka and Dara Karaka is sitting. Suppose you are a Mercury Atma Karaka. However, your Mercury Dara Karaka. However, your Mercury Dara Karaka is in Pisces, and the other person is a Mercury Atma Karaka, but it is like Sharashtak, suppose. Suppose it is in Libra, or it is in Leo. Then it will not be good, because though it is Mercury Atma Karaka Dara Karaka combination, the two charts, they don't have complementing energies. Your Mercury Atma Karaka is attracted to Mercury Dara Karaka and vice versa. However, when you check synastry, they are Shadashtak, very challenging. So Mercury Dara Karaka people will definitely not like to be around people with Mercury Ketu, Mercury Rahu, Mercury Saturn, Mercury Mars. So if you are a Mercury Dara Karaka, you can apply this to all Dara Karaka. Suppose you are a Moon Dara Karaka. Moon Dara Karaka people will be attracted to people who have Moon Rahu. However, it will be very challenging for them, because their Rahu is pulling the energy out. Someone with Moon Saturn, you will have karma with, because your Dara Karaka is Moon. Moon Atma Karaka. So this is how you draw, but again, as I said, it is not just Atma Karaka, Dara Karaka. If you Google up, you'll find that a Mercury Atma, your Dara Karaka should match with the spouse's Atma Karaka. However, in realistic life cases, it is not true. It doesn't happen always that your Dara Karaka will be the partner's Atma Karaka. It is never going to be that way. Also, your Dara Karaka may not be well placed in their chart. If your Dara Karaka is not well placed in their chart, is highly afflicted, then when you marry that person, you will have issues because of money. If your Dara Karaka is with Ketu in their chart, after marrying them, you'll have money issues. You'll not be able to, because it's your least underdeveloped self, and that person is even making it more afflicted in their chart. So their energy is not helping you. In fact, hindering you. So Dara Karaka has to be treated very carefully, not just the energy is like you are lacking in something, so you're looking out for that. However, many times it happens that the other person is not having a pure vibration of that planet. So your Dara Karaka planet, you'll be attracted to that person with ascendant, that person with Atma Karaka, or that person having that planet with Rahu. So Venus Dara Karaka, you'll go for Libra or Taurus. Venus Dara Karaka, you'll attract somebody with Venus in Lagna. Venus Dara Karaka will be attracting Venus Atma Karaka, or they will have their Atma Karaka with Venus, or they will have the Lagnesh with Venus, or they will have Venus with Rahu. Venus is some planet, but they have Venus with Rahu. That's why you're attracting them. So be careful. Always, this Dara Karaka, Atma Karaka doesn't align that way as we wish to study in textbooks. Textbooks do not match real life partners. If you look at the married couples, they will hardly have Atma Karaka, Dara Karaka match. They won't. Even this Guna Mila, except traditional Brahmin families who match the charts, mostly the charts do not match. It is because of some karma that you are together. So Guna Mila, 36 points, 27 points, Yoni, all these things, it's a rough indicator. It's basically a ready reckoner that we have. But the actual circumstance, I know a couple who has 18 points in marriage making. But that chart, that dasha, which are aligning, the charts are so beautiful that are aligning. One person is very sluggish, very backward. Other person is very good, but he's very accepting and supportive of the person. So not everyone wants their spouse to be great. Some people are very humble and they accept the other person. So this couple that I know, they have hardly 16 to 18 points, but they are very good couple. So do not go on points. The horoscope synastry is very important. The circumstances that make you together or break you apart. Sister-in-law, brother-in-law, mother-in-law, your job, your career, your addictions, your own mother, your own childhood trauma, your own heartbreak trauma that you had, which is hindering the current relationship. All this mess will multiply the negative or positive effects. So seventh lord here, seventh lord doesn't matter. What matters is healing. What matters is you understand what you are bringing to the table. You look at your seventh lord, look at your lagna and see how it is placed. And you see where it is focusing, where your Atma Karaka is focusing. If your seventh lord, suppose is Shadashtak, suppose your Atma Karaka is the 12th house, then you will not want a partner because the 7th house is the 8th from the Atma Karaka. Suppose your 7th lord is sitting 12th from the Atma Karaka, your soul himself will reject it. The soul will reject the partner. So there are such things, when you check at a soul level, what the soul wants and what the soul illusions are. The soul may be wanting to get married. You may be wanting to get married now. But suddenly after 50, you might change totally because the soul is taking over. And then you go to check where the Atma Karaka is in the 12th house. When the Atma Karaka is in the 12th house, the 8th house becomes a challenge, death-like suffering, difficult transformation for the soul. The soul has to meet that 8th house demands and then go. What if your Atma Karaka is Saturn in the 12th house? It is the worst because Saturn in the 12th house, in own Karaka house, and 7th house is Ashtam from the Saturn. So you will have to do the 7th house karma first to not just your soul purpose, but also your career, your entire life of work you'll have to fulfill through that 7th house. So not all marriages are bliss. Some marriages are catalyst. Some marriages are there to uproot us. The Gandan point that she spoke about, some people marry and the partner is the one to get you out of the Gandan zone. You go through ruckus, you go through upheaval. You will go through the dungeon to come out. And that is what partners are for. So marriage making is made, marriages are made in heaven for a reason, because it is the God's divine blessing or lack thereof that guides us, that helps us, pass through the storms. When nodes Jupiter, Saturn are in the same sign in male and female chart. So Jupiter is the karaka for progeny, it's a karaka for paternal lineage. Saturn is the karaka for traditional ancestors, traditional things, ancestry. Saturn is also work. So when someone's Ketu Rahu is conjunct to your Saturn, definitely after marriage, your career will change, either good or bad. Someone Saturn conjuncting to your Ketu means you will hinder them. If their Ketu is conjuncting to your Saturn, there'll be some change. It doesn't mean that they're going to stop you from working. Depends on the circumstances, because Saturn is what? Saturn is the boundary, limitations. There will be some limitations after you get married, that because of those limitations you can't work or your career will change, something like that. So Saturn Ketu, Saturn Rahu, those create issues in work. There can also be need to take responsibility or need to cater to old people, or the monopoly, or the dominion of old people in your life, which will either ruin or support your relationships. Many times the couple is breaking apart, the husband or wife is even having something outside, but the old people in the house are the ones who take care of you. I know one couple, they're divorced, but the lady is still staying with the in-laws and she's staying and serving them. That is the power of Saturn. So Saturn, Rahu, Ketu in synastry can either break you, can limit you, make it like a bondage, and also help you out. But Saturn, remember, Saturn is the persevering force. It will not break you, make you survive. So it is like what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So Saturn nodes is that. However, note that wherever Rahu and Saturn are placed in the chart, it creates a sort of bandhan yoga, because Saturn is natural bandhan. It is the bondage. Rahu is also bondage because it is 11th lord, natural 11th lord of Kala Purusha, Badaka. So wherever Saturn, Rahu are there. So wherever you have Saturn, that's why even I said Jupiter aspect. Jupiter is a protective force. It is a divine force. However, it is a bandhan. You have to know that you are Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so. It is a bandhan. Even if you do not like your husband, in the society you are that. You have to raise your kids, because children you are there. So wherever Jupiter, Saturn, Rahu, Ketu are there, because of old people, because of tradition, because of children, you are fulfilling the responsibility. Because of that, you are bounded. Something like that will be there, will be prominent. Jupiter, Saturn, Rahu, depending on what it is, also shows Putra dosha or Putra rina or Brahman shapa, Brahman things can be there. You have to see how the synastry is working. Hi HSV, I'm good. How are you? So Ketu connections, as Abhishek has asked, have no chance of coming together. He's asking you, and whether they will eventually drift apart. So as I said, Ketu conjunction doesn't mean that everyone with Ketu, we will never look at them. Doesn't mean that those who are right now watching and have Venus Ketu with their spouse, they don't have to get worried like, oh my God, she said Ketu with Venus is going to separate her. That means they are going to divorce. No. What I meant is that Ketu is a higher vibration. Note that Ketu is spirituality. It is moksha. It is unconditional. So Ketu is not going to look at your wife's body, wife's looks, what wife is giving you. Ketu will transcend at a very high level. So it's a very high level relationship. If you can't do that, and you are at a physical body lust basis, you are looking at what your wife is giving you. Is she taking care of your parents? Is she giving you money? Then Venus Ketu will not work. But if Venus Ketu both are very spiritually evolved, both are into sadhana, both are into unconditional, because see, Ketu is a lot of Scorpio, other resources, right? Ketu, it exalts in Sagittarius. So you have to understand what is Sagittarius. It is higher learning, dharma. So Ketu, just like Jupiter, Ketu is about dharma. It's about knowing that this is my path and I'm going to be okay with it. I'm not going to be demanding. Ketu is detachment. So you can love someone and still be detached. That is the actual meaning of Venus Ketu. So just because you have Venus Ketu with somebody doesn't mean that you will break off. It depends on the energies of that Venus Ketu. So Venus Ketu, what Venus Ketu, right? One person has Venus in Capricorn, other person has Ketu in Capricorn. There'll be some changes with regards to work. or there'll be some changes that with regards to how the person is practical in nature with regards to relationship, because Venus in Capricorn is very practical. So the spouse may be able to change and transform the practical nature of this person eventually. Venus in Virgo with Ketu in Virgo, like right now we have Ketu in Virgo. Suppose somebody has Ketu in Virgo and the person has Venus in Virgo. The person is very critical. One person is critical, very lusty, very low vibrational. Virgo is virgin, right? It is the Kanya. Venus in Virgo is about calculation, measurement. It's about lust. Very low Shadripu of Venus is lust. So when Ketu is the other person's Ketu is going to correct this person. This person will not like it at first. They'll be wanting to engage in sex. They'll be wanting to criticize. My wife is this way. My wife is not. So overall, after 42, because Ketu is 42. After 42, it will evolve. In short-term relationship, like girlfriend, boyfriend, what happens is usually that there are timelines, like 18 months, one sign, Ketu is going to transit. 6 months in one nakshatra. So whenever the degree, for example, if you have Venus and Ketu conjunction and you have Sun transiting at the same degree as Ketu or Venus, that Sun in transit at the same degree will shed some illumination, some light on that relationship. So you have to evolve. So these things are not like Venus Ketu means cutting out. No, it is not like that. It's about growth. It's about learning, being together. There are many relationships where you have girlfriend, boyfriend, they are together, but they learn out of it. So they are saying that the past was a reason, the past was a lesson. So when you say Venus, no chance of coming together, depends on how it is. Is coming together written for them? Then yes. If it is, suppose one person has Ketu, Jupiter in Scorpio, say, and the other person has Saturn, Venus, Moon in Scorpio. Very difficult, because that Ketu is not just on their Moon, is also on their Venus, also on their Saturn. So it is hitting a very bad point. So some conjunction, some synastries can be much more damaging and transformative for one person than the other. You have to see how much the other person is willing to take the blow. So now you're saying no chance of coming together. Is the partner wanting to come back to you? You ask that first. The question that you are asking for, does that partner want to come back to you? Does the partner have the fight, the patience, the dedication towards you to come back? So that is important. So that is other things, right? 7th Lord, 5th Lord. Do you all have karma? Do you all have the karma of raising children or having children? That will decide whether it will last or not. Venus Ketu is just one element. Ramesh, you're asking me several questions, so I'll skip. Kumbha Vivaha works. Again, it depends on how you're doing it. For remedies to work, first of all, 5th Lord, 5th house should be strong for anybody. Simply just doing the encyclopedia of remedies, your remedies will not work. Not everybody is supposed to remedy because you have sinned in the past life. This life you come and you contact some astrologer, or by God's grace you know certain Puranic literature, doesn't mean you start reading it and contacting priest and doing remedies. What if you are a big sinner? Has God given you the power to heal yourself? Maybe you're trapped, maybe you're in bondage, maybe you're not meant to do any remedies and you're meant to suffer. So Kumbha Vivaha or even any other Vivaha will not work for you. So 5th Lord is very important. 5th Lord, 5th house is your Purva Punya. Is that change that you bring. 5th house is the house of change. If you're stuck, the bondage, the suffering, can you change it? Can you do mantra? Sun, natural 5th house is the house of change. It brings light. It destroys darkness. Tamas, right? Ignored. So 5th house is very, very important. The answer to your Kumbha Vivaha, whether you can do it or not, lies in your 5th house. If your 5th house is strong, then Kumbha Vivaha, Purusha Suktam, Purusha Homa, so many things you can do. But there should be a rescue. There should be an escape in your chart. If your chart is stuck, then you do Kumbha Vivaha, you do 100 Vivahas. It will not matter. You can donate, like, now recently we had the wedding of Ambani's kids, and they did a wedding of 50 couples. It is the Stri Shapa remedy where you can get people married. For Stri Shapa, Venus affliction, Stri Shapa, you can donate idols of Lakshmi Vishnu, donate a cow, and get people married and give couples gifts of bed, shringar, clothes, new set of clothes. It's a remedy as per our books. So this famous, rich, wealthy Indian family, they had a samuha, public wedding event of 50 couples. Now, will that guarantee that their children will always be happy? No, it is a punya. They're doing it. So if you do Kumbha Vivaha, depends on your fifth house. Also, the ninth house, ninth lord is that divine protection. Fifth house is the purity. Ninth house, ninth lord is the protection. So if ninth house, ninth lord is not good in your chart, natural ninth house, Sagittarius, natural ninth lord, Jupiter, your ninth house and your ninth lord, these four are very important. Just because the ninth lord is strong doesn't mean that it will work out. Jupiter also should be strong. So if your ninth house, ninth lord is there, that means God has given you the blessing that even you will go through this, but you'll come out of it. I am giving you the blessing. So Kumbha Vivaha, any other remedy, even if you are fasting on Upapada fast, Tithi Lord fast, fasting doesn't mean that you will get a good relationship. You're just removing the karmic debris, you're aligning yourself more spiritually, you're becoming more pure. You're removing tamoguna when you fast. So remedy, 5th and 9th house is very important. Vidhu, thank you, Vidhu. Please write down. Thanks, Jay. You can write down and fully see what you can do with this thing. I'm just giving some snippets. There's no PPT here. I'm just saying whatever I can. Ashwin, which house we see spirituality? Spirituality, what is spirituality? Spirituality is a state of being. It is not about religion, right? So usually the moksha trikon, that is the fourth house, your 8th house and your 12th house is your spirituality. Your Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces is spirituality. Because moon is what? Moon is natural 4th house, right? So it is the home, the mother is your first teacher. 8th house, your transformation, how you churn inside when you are grown up. You know, how you handle the trials and tribunals of life. 8th house. And 12th house, what you do when you're alone? When you sleep, when you rejuvenate. Do you meditate? Do you let go of all your toxins, bodily toxins, negative thoughts? You recycle every day, the subconscious thing. That is 4, 8, 12. And that is spirituality. If you are able to clean up your 4, 8, 12, even the food that you eat, you have to shit. 8th house. Take it out. The more you shit out, your mind will be clear. People who cannot have clean bowel movements have problem with their emotions, problem with their money. Because 2nd house you eat, right? And 8th house is Scorpio. It is the excreta, the anus, the colon. So Cancer, 4th house, Moksha Trikon, Scorpio, 8th house, and 12th house, Pisces. Pisces is donations. Pisces is sleep, rejuvenation. Pisces is your toxins, removal of toxins, your dreams, your subconscious. When you think of something, I want money, I want a car, I sleep, I get the dream of that car. 12th house, right? So 4, 8, 12, you fix it. Once you fix it, once you become aware of your 4, 8, 12, your Moksha Trikon, that is when you will be close to spirituality. Jupiter is strong, Jupiter is weak. That is not, we all are, nobody is perfect. Nobody is, some of them are blessed to be born in spiritual families. Some of them are finding their own way. How do you get spirituality? You have to suffer. You have to get a blow. Spirituality comes at the cost of suffering. Why? Moksha Trikon, 4th house of peace, comfort, home. Okay, fine, 4th house. What is 8th house though? Moksha Trikon is death, rebirth, transformation, ups and downs. Death like suffering, Scorpio. You have to suffer. What is 12th house? Losses, isolation, expenditure, hospitalization. You get a disease, you become spiritual. You lose money in the stock market, you become spiritual. That is the road to spirituality. In Kala Yuga, you lose money, you lose some loved one, you lose some health, you become spiritual. That is the path to spirituality. So check your 4, 8, 12 houses, okay? I hope I've answered your question. Namita, please consult me. You can check my WhatsApp and consult me for my query, for my consultation charges. And you can please do not post 2 charts in comments. Okay. She Tattva, intermittent fasting, definitely yes. So nowadays it's very famous, right? Intermittent fasting, keto diet. Fasting is good. However, our Shastras tell us when to do it. For what purpose to do it? If you are trying to get rid of anger, if you're a Mars Atmakaraka, Mars Lagna, Mars Moon Rashi, if your Lagnesh is with Mars, if you have Mars, if you're born on Tuesday, if you're born on Tritiya or Ekadashi, it is very good to fast on Ekadashi. Fasting in Ekadashi will change your life. If you're a Manglik, fast on Ekadashi. Mars in 12th house, 1st house, 2nd house, 4th house, 7th house, 8th house. Mars with Atmakaraka, Mars with Lagnesh, Scorpio, Aries moon sign, Tuesday born, or Mars Nakshatra, Dhanishta, Chitra, right? And so on. So Mars energy, to control that, to channelize that, you have to fast on Ekadashi. So intermittent fasting, not when you please, not when you want. So it's about doing it at the right time and the right place. So everybody flocks to Shiva temple on Monday, right? It's very good. Moon day, Somnath. On moon day you go, you go into Jalabhisheka. But Jalabhisheka is much more important on your tithi. So just as we have tithi pravesha every year during a solar return. Suppose now sun is going to go in Cancer. So July born. After mid-July, everyone will have a sun in Cancer. So people with sun in Cancer will have their birthdays now, next month, 1 month. It is not your Gregorian calendar birthday, but your tithi birthday. So this morning I had a client, Krishna Trayodasi, sun in Cancer. So I have asked him to do a Jala Abhisheka now his birthday is in July, but as per tithi, it is falling in August. So Krishna Trayodasi will come in August. In August, he has to go and do a tithi Abhisheka. So do Shivalinga Abhishek when Krishna Trayodasi happens in that month. That way, if you do, you can rejuvenate for the full year. You can take care of your money, your relationship, everything. So tithi is Jala, the flow of your life. Similarly, every month you have a birthday. Every month your tithi will come. Every month you can fast that day or do Abhisheka. Why Abhisheka? Jala. Jala is water. So if you can do Jala Abhisheka on tithi, if you can fast, not eat food on your Varesh. What is your Varesh? Suppose you're born on Friday. Every Friday you fast. Forget about deity, but because that inherent Venus element, Venus becomes your Varesh. If you fast on Friday, it is much beneficial for your health because you're born on Friday. Now that fasting is for health. Now you want to clean out some issue. You want to clean out karmas. You want to not be traumatized anymore. You want to do the shadow work and heal your ancestral paternal debris. Fast on Trayodashi. Pradosh fasting is for karmic cleaning, karmic cleansing. Ekadashi fasting is for anger, removing anger. Ashtami fasting is for getting rid of illusions, not being cheated or not cheating others. Ashtami, if you are getting cheated, if you are having toxic relationships, you feel you are cheated by everyone, betrayed by everyone, fast on Ashtami. If you are having problems every time, not able to execute anything, fast on Chaturthi, irrespective of what you are born on. Especially if you are born on Chaturthi, you have to fast on Chaturthi. If you are born on Ekadashi, you have to fast on Ekadashi. That is a different thing. But all of us, general people, we don't know, right, what we are born on. Not everyone is an astrologer. So, as I said, if you have these issues, anger, Ekadashi, normal hurdles, problems, work problems, education problems, breaks in relationships, obstacles in everything that you take up, not able to execute, then fast on Chaturthi, Krishna Chaturthi. So we have something called as Sankashti. Sankashti is keeping the Sankashti fast. If you're not getting married, you can do Tithi fasting. You can do Upapada fasting on your Upapada day. So if your Upapada Lagna is the Jaimini, you have to fast every Wednesday. You can have nuts, seeds, fruits, milk, water. No lunch and dinner. No, just fruits. Okay, just whatever you can live in the forest. Natural things. So Upapada fasting or Tithi fasting you can do, but the best, most powerful remedy for relationship is the Uma Mahesh Vrat. The Uma Mahesh Vrat comes at Hartalika. When you have the Shukla Bhadrapad, the Ganesh part, when the Ganesh Chaturthi starts, before the Ganesh Chaturthi is Hartalika, and that is your Uma Mahesh Vrat. If you can keep that, even if you're unmarried, that is very powerful. So Bhadrapad, see that there's a meaning why we are doing it. Like Shravan month is very good for all things. Shravan, Margashish, Kartike. These are auspicious months. So there are certain festivals because of that. depending on the sun position. Sun is in Cancer now. So Shravan is very good for Shiva sadhana, for anything but you want to Ganesh Chaturthi, Chaturthi, you want to keep every month, Krishna Chaturthi fast. You want to keep Vinayaki fast, you can do that. But these are for these reasons. It is not simply. Intermittent fasting is Western. It is not our, there is nothing called as intermittent fasting. Intermittent is a Western borrowed concept. Please, if you are following me, please use Sanatan. Otherwise, I will be strict. We have Tithi fasting. We have Var fasting. We have a festival fasting. Our festivals, all our festivals, everyone thinks it is not Diwali. We don't have anything called Diwali. We have Narak Chaturdashi, Trayodashi, Dvitiya. We have Tithis. Yama Dvitiya. Naraka Chaturdashi. We do Yama rituals. Shukla Tritiya is the Uma fasting. Shukla Chaturthi is our Ganpati Chaturthi. Then Krishna Bhadrapad, the same Bhadrapad month, but Krishna Paksha is for all dead people. We do all the rituals for our ancestors. Sankranti fasting is for different reason. You want to help your moon is weak. If it is Sheena Chandra, that is, it is very dark, especially Krishna Ekadashi, Krishna Trayodashi, Krishna Chaturdashi or Amavasya. If you're born in these 4 tithis, then for you can do Chandrayan fast. Fast as the moon grows, start eating extra morsels every day. Fast, like you increase the food intake or decrease the food. There are different ways. You can read about it from some sources online. Chandrayan fast. If not that, you can do Purnima fast. Satyanarayan Pratkatha. It is Satya. It is the west direction. Shani is the ruler for Satya. Satyanarayan we worship as the Vishnu avatar of Saturn. In this, if you look at the Ashta Padma, we have a design. We look at the 8 directions. In that, the west is ruled by Saturn. It is ruling Satya. We say Om Tat Sat. Satya. So moon, if you fast on Purnima, it is very good for health, longevity, for Satya, for truth. What is truth? We all are chasing some truth, right? Purnima is for that. If you have progeny issues, Purnima. Couple, because emotional relationships. So after marriage, people do Purnima Vrat. Purnima Satyanarayan. So Satyanarayan is also a fast. You are having problems with Venus, do Navratri fast, Friday fast. So Ashtami fast. You can keep also for relationships. So intermittent fasting, no. Fast on Tithi. Understand Tithi to understand why you're fasting and understand the effects of it. Trayodashi, Krishna Trayodashi fast will have effect on emotional cleansing. Ekadashi fast will have, of course, sins because Ekadashi is Vishnu. If you start following Ekadashi, you'll be relieved from all the sins. But different Ekadashis have different meanings. Our culture is so beautiful. I can talk for 10 days only on festivals. Yogini Ekadashi, Putrada Ekadashi, so many Ekadashis, right? Different Ekadashis have different meanings because they are at a particular juncture of the sun in a particular sign. Trayodashi, when we have Pradosh, Trayodashi is Pradosh. In the evening, the time is called Pradosh time. So Pradosh fasting, Pradosh puja of Kamadev and Rati and Shiv Parvati, 4 of them, 2 couples, we do for Pradosh. That Pradosh fasting is different for different varas. Did you know that? Som Pradosh is for moon issues. Bhauma Pradosh, Martian Tuesday Pradosh is different. Shukra Pradosh is for relationship issues. Guru Pradosh is for progeny. So what emotional karma are you cleaning? Progeny issues, knowledge and guru issues, growth issues. You're stuck because of some bondage of Jupiter. Do Guru Pradosh. Emotional issues with your mother, karmic cleansing that you need for some blockages that you have. Som Pradosh. Ancestors, Shani Pradosh. So different things, different things. So fasting is beautiful. Please do it. It is the best way to not lose in life because you're first only, trying to keep your body minimal. So also, yeah, Yashasvi, can we go ahead and marry someone without matching the charts, or if they are not matching also, Yashasvi, you will have the power to go ahead and marry someone, not because you are doing it. It is because it is destined. Can you go and marry someone today? Tomorrow? No. The time will come when you'll marry someone. So without matching charts, you can go. It is nothing to worry about. There are many people who have never matched their charts. They have beautiful relationships. So without matching charts, you can grow. Just pray to your Kula Devata. Take the blessings of your mother, your parents, and pray to your Kula Devata. And be truthful and loyal. Without matching charts, see, that is a yoga. That is why you're marrying, right? Simply, you cannot marry anybody. It cannot be a mistake. There are many times people say it is a mistake. Some kidnapping took place. Some people forcefully got married. They eloped. It was some illusion, some madness. They say, oh, I got married and I got divorced in 6 months. It is not a mistake. It was supposed to happen. You can try to date 10 people, but you will not get married to them. You'll only get married to the one you are supposed to get married to. So yes, the answer is, if you want to go to marry someone without matching charts, you can go ahead, but please take blessings of your Kula Devata. Kula Devata will take care of the Vanshriddhi of your Kula. And matching or not, sometimes matching also creates problem. It needs maturity to understand what are the blockages. Matching is basically like a GPS. Everything is already set. We just know that we can't start. I'm in Seattle right now. I know France is somewhere very far away. I can't just start walking to France, right? I need to understand. I need a flight to France. Or if I have to come to India, I need to understand I will not reach in 5 hours into India. It takes me 30 hours. So astrology tells us how much time it will take, what is the terrain, is it good, is it bad? So it will tell that the astrology helps us with that. So matching or not matching, anyways, you're destined to be with that person, you will be with that person. But matching helps us understand yourself and understand the partner better. Understand what are we facing with. A person with Mars in the 4th house, Atma Karaka. No matter how peaceful you are, maybe you are the most quiet person, most submissive person. A person with Mars in the 4th house, they are bringing that Mars in the 4th house and they'll always fight. They'll have fight in the family. So they have seen that Mars energy growing up, domestic life. So they will exude it. So they bring that certain set of energy to you and you are bringing your energy to them. Together, what you do is hodgepodge. Is either a bliss or is a painful mess. So if you match, you know what you're dealing with. You know the demons, right? Whom are you dealing with? So astrology is very beautiful because we know whom we are dealing with. Sometimes the time is off, but we can put a prashna and we can find out what the person is. If no chart, we can just look at your chart and say, okay, this person, your 7th lord is so and so, your spouse will be so and so person. Your 7th from Venus is so. So we'll know that your, for example, 7th lord in fixed sign, 7th lord in dual sign, 7th lord in movable sign. We know which direction your partner will come from. We know the profession of your partner. So if you all need some, forget about matching, but if you know your inherent traits, where will your spouse come from? Will he come or not? Will he come now or will he come after 36? One lady I know, her Tithi Lord is in Pisces. Mars being Tithi Lord is in Pisces. And Mars Rahu she has in the chart. And currently Rahu has transited Pisces. So from October onwards, she's in a relationship. However, the relationship is not good because it's Rahu, illusion. It's a relationship with some other caste person. Transit Rahu, conjunct natal Rahu, conjunct Tithi Lord Mars. So Mars and Rahu is bound to create fights, create a lot of power control issues. But she got into relationship when? After 36. Because her 7th Lord, Venus, is with Saturn. So she dated many people before, but she didn't get the seriousness of marriage until now. The minute she entered 36 age, because Saturn. So sometimes what happens, even if you want to get married, you may not get married because that age is not come. So some people don't get married for a very long time. And suddenly they get married and everything is fine. But they are bound to suffer for that period of searching their partner. So, Yashasvi, all the best to you. You can go ahead and match. You can definitely contact me and I can tell you 7th from Venus, the planet in the 7th house in Navamsha, what it tells about your spouse, your Dara Karaka, your Atma Karaka, your 7th Lord Nakshatra, the direction where your spouse will come from, what profession the spouse will have, all these things. What are the changes which are seen in your chart itself? There is no blame game. It's all in your chart. After marriage, what will happen to you? If you have Saturn Atmakaraka or Saturn in the 7th house, you are advised to get married late. 7th house is the 31st year as per Bhrigu Chakra Paddhati. So it is better you get married after, the 7th house, the 7th solar Shani return. So 7th house Saturn or Saturn being 7th lord, it is good to get married late. But most people do not wait so much, right? If your Upapada Dhanraji, if the Upapada falls in 2nd house from Lagna, you have to fast on the Upapada. Suppose your Lagna is Libra and 2nd house Upapada suppose is, how will Upapada fall in 2nd house? Okay, so Upapada will be the lord of that sign. Suppose it is Aries, Scorpio, you fast on Tuesdays. Suppose it is Cancer, Upapada, fast on Mondays. Leo, then Sundays. Sagittarius, Pisces, fast on Thursdays. Gemini, Virgo, fast on Wednesdays, and so on. So Upapada is a fast. It is, however, note that it is very difficult to fast on Upapada. Why? Because it has certain energies. And if malefics are placed in Upapada, it's even much more difficult. So you might think, oh, you know what, I will do this remedy, but it will be very challenging for you. Some fasts are much easy to do than others. Sometimes you don't need to do food fasting. You need to sit and do Maun Vrat. For Upapada, it is best to do food fasting. I have to go now. It's going to be last 9 minutes. All right. I'll take some questions, more questions. Okay. Before I take some more questions, I need to finish what I had taken this presentation for. So, yeah, so I was saying Mars, Venus trines and Venus, Rahu conjunctions, Mars, Venus conjunctions also help in a lot of, attraction and the relationship glue that I said. However, you have to also see your 7th lord of your D9. 7th lord should be associated to your 5th house, to the partners, 5th house, Lagna or 9th house in the dispositor or the Nakshatra lord relationship, as I said. Then the Dara Karaka should be the person's Atma Karaka or should be well placed. Then note that whenever you say suppose your 9th lord is associated to your partner. So your 9th lord is associated to the partner, but your 9th lord, you being a fixed ascendant like a Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, your 9th lord becomes Vedicesha, blockage. So your 9th lord sitting on the person's Lagna means you can be very, like you can bring a blockage bringer or you can bring some restriction for that person because that energy of Badaka it is carrying. Also 9th lord associated to Lagna, you have to see what it is. It is a Saumya Graha, Krura Graha. Imagine your 9th lord is associated to the person Lagna, but that person has got Saturn Mandakaraka in Lagna. He'll be very cold. Mars in Lagna, very aggressive. So just because some conjunction is happening, 1, 5, 9, doesn't mean it is good. So when I said Lagnesh, if your 5th lord, if your 7th lord of Navamsha is the 5th lord, the 9th lord, or the 1st lord, the Lagnesh of the partner, it is good, I said, or it should be conjunct to the Lagnesh. But what if your 7th lord is the sun and conjunct to the Lagnesh, which is Saturn? Will it be good? It will be like father-child issue, always fighting. You know how Sun and Saturn relationship, right? Saturn, Shani is the sun or Surya. So it will be like that. What if it is conjunct the Lagnesh, but also having Rahu Ketu? That means there'll be some problems. So just because trinal relationship doesn't mean it is going to be perfect. You have to see what is the trinal relationship. But definitely, if you have a boyfriend, short-term love interest that you had, you can definitely match this with them. You will have it with them. Your 7th lord of Navamsha or your 7th lord of D1 should match with their 5th lord, Lagnesh, and 9th lord in some way or the other. By Nakshatra, by dispositor, by Rashi lord, wherever. Suppose Lagnesh is going, suppose your 7th lord is Mercury. Their Lagnesh is going in Virgo or Gemini or going in Mercury Nakshatras. Like this. So this is one thing. Then as I said, for Mars Venus conjunctions for males, Mars Rahu for female charts, Mars Rahu trinal combination is not good. It can give a lot of toxic relationships and issues. For females, Venus sign, Ketu should not be in the same sign for males. So suppose you have a Venus in a particular sign, the male should not have Ketu in the same sign. It can show a lot of past relationship familiarity. However, lot of separation, lot of detachment generally. Usually Ketu is Scorpio, right? It comes with a sting. So Ketu is not always spiritual. Ketu will cut you out in a very painful way. Might just be with you, spend time with you, and just never see your face again. And that might hurt you forever. So Ketu is like that. Revengeful attitude also can come. Opposition can come from Ketu. So Ketu associations, Ketu synastries are painful. And then, as I said, the seventh Lord Nakshatra should match. And then, okay, about Darakaraka, another thing is that if Darakaraka is Atmakaraka, the Darakaraka can also sit with their Rahu, or your Darakaraka can sit with their Lagnesh, or your Darakaraka can be their Lagnesh. Then Rahu, Ketu always brings a lot of karmic connection to the relation. So karmic relationships are seen from Rahu, Ketu, sometimes the toxic ones especially. But besides Guna Milam, besides the Nakshatra, all these things, if these 4 points, as I said, Mars, Venus, the seventh Lord, same sign, Mars, Venus, synastry, trines, the seventh Lord, Nakshatra, matching the Lagna, or the fifth Lord, then definitely you can say you can go ahead. Even if your points you're not getting Guna Milan, then these 4 or 5 points that I've said, if these are matching, then that partner is meant to be with you. So understand that. Then seventh house from D9, that also is very important, should not be afflicted. Suppose you have Rahu Ketu in your Navamsha and Navamsha Lagna in seventh house. You yourself will be problematic. So you have to handle your own energies before trying to match it and blame it on others. So whenever your own chart is afflicted, note that you should take responsibility. If your Venus is afflicted, it's you. It's your full family tree and the ruckus that you have brought, ancestral, paternal debris that you are sitting with, the trauma that you have, that is going to hinder your future life. So when we say, right, in a male's chart, Venus is in Ashlesha or Venus is in Jyeshta, we say, oh, his wife will be Jyeshta, a little bit revengeful, a little bit suspicious. We say that. However, it's your Venus, right? It is not just a wife. So you will have those buttons that you press, which is why she will behave like that. You have the debris, the emotional debris you're exuding, which is why she'll be always on her toes. So it is a mirror. Seventh house is a mirror. So note that. Then for relationship, basically, Venus is the Karaka. So Venus affliction, Venus Devi remedy. The natural remedy for relationship is Durga. As Durga is the overlord for Tithi. Tithi rules relationships. Durga, if you pray, is very good. So even if you do a Sankalpa with a Chandi part, Durga, like, Ashtami fast, it is very good for relationship in general. Even if you do not know your Upapada or your Tithi Lord, doing Durga is best as she rules Tithi. And so sorrowful. The other thing is Upapada. Somebody had asked, Upapada Lagna is the your marriage, depending on affairs that you have. Suppose you had 1 year affair with someone and you were physical with them. That is considered as the Upapada or a soulmate relationship. So if you had, say, 4 boyfriends or 4 girlfriends and now you want to get married, we'll look at 4 and the 5th from that last Upapada to count your next partner. So Upapadas are soulful marriages. However, A7, Darapada, is any business or physical relationship that we have. One night stands are seen from A7 in the chart. So your Upapada Lagna in your chart should not be 3, 6, 8, 12 from your own AL, your own Aruda. Otherwise, people will reject you or you will reject other people. Also, if the UL is 3rd, 6th, 8th, 12th, from the Aruda Lagna, rejection of the spouse is possible. So all this matching that we see can be totally crossed out because your own chart, you have issues. Your Aruda Lagna means your own image. The partner is partner and you are not matching. So this is why your first girlfriend was good, second one was not good, or the third wife finally accepts you, the first wife didn't accept you. We have certain scenarios like that. Or you always compare that the first wife was very good or the first girlfriend was very good. This one, somehow it is not matching because this Upapada is falling in 3, 6, 8, 12 from your AL. So whenever Rahu Ketu are associated to your Upapada, you can get stuck in that relationship and that there may not be much progress. You might want to terminate, but you're again stuck. And whenever A7, which is Darapada, is also quadrant, that is Kendras, to your UL, okay, then definitely you can say that you can involve somewhere else because of your relationship. So sometimes we see certain qualities in the person. The person may not cheat, but because of a dasha transit, they cheat. And they say that, okay, because of my partner did this to me. So that event gets triggered when the partner rejects, and then dasha comes, transit comes, and they cheat. Cheating also is seen with certain things, especially as I said at the start, Jupiter Atmakaraka or Jupiter in Lagna, Jupiter in 7th house is different, but Jupiter in Pisces or Sagittarius Navamsha can show neglect of spouse. You might be very neglecting towards the spouse. Not really like that you don't love them, but you're not having time for them. So that also can show interest. Kapata Yoga, Moon and Mercury trimes in Navamsha without a Jupiter aspect is a karaka for cheating. So when you're matching charts, you may have that sexual energy. That is why you're attracting a lot of people who are sexual. You may have father's deprivation. Father may not be good to you. Then you may be attracted to such people like your father. Tithi Lord me, Tithi Lord Sun. People want father like the relation. The father will be very instrumental in their relationship, or people will attract someone like their father. So if you have a father's wound or a mother's wound, you can study psychology. There are concepts, that traumas associated to the deprivation, emotional deprivation of fatherly and motherly love. So if such things are there in your chart, definitely Amavasya born, Chaturdashi born, Moon Sun Shadashtak, Moon Sun opposition, Moon Sun conjunction also, if it is a problem, then you can have issues because of that, and that will transcend onto your relationship. If your AL and UL, there is Aruda Lagna and UL are 2 by 12, then one person will reject the other. Suppose your UL is 12th to your Aruda Lagna in your chart. Like Dhanraji said, his UL is second house. What if his AL is falling in the third house? That means you will reject the spouse. Okay? And the Lagna of the partner should be trines to the UL or your 7th house. Sometimes what happens, your 7th lord, suppose 7th lord is Mars, and in Navamsha, you look at where Mars is placed and look at trines from that. That will be the Lagna of your spouse. Even the Upapada, whatever Upapada is there, 7 trines from the Upapada is the Lagna of your spouse. Now Upapada keep on changing, so make sure you count the right Upapada. If one relationship has ended, count Ashtam from that. Like in Dhanraj's case, Dhanraj said second house is Upapada. So the first marriage or first relationship is first Upapada, second will be Ashtam from that. So that Upapada should be matched with the AL. AL will stay intact. UL will keep on changing. So AL-UL relationships have to be assessed. If there are Rahu Ketu A from that UL on the UL, then whenever Rahu is associated to UL, there is often a cheating or some kind of illusion in the relationship. Many times people get engaged, they tell false information, false finances, and they cheat. And then they get to know whether that they were cheated, and then they break off the relationship. So Rahu associated to UL can show that in some cases. Whenever a particular Upapada Lagna falls in Badaka Sthana or associated to Badakesha, then there can be the marriage relationship will either be like an obstruction for you or bring disease and sorrow. Why disease and sorrow? Saturn, Badakesha is Saturn Rahu, right? So wherever your Badaka is falling, wherever your Badakesha is falling, that is obstruction and sorrow energy, disease energy. So if your Upapada is associated to your Badaka, which is like suppose you're a Cancer ascendant and your Upapada falls in 11th house, or Scorpio ascendant falls in 9th house, Scorpio Aquarius 9th house, then you will think in 9th house that marriage, that relationship, that affair will bring you disease or some issue, obstruction, sorrow. And because Badak is there, even you may be dating someone for many, many years, going through all tribunals, going through all fights, going through stress, diseases, sorrow, but you'll not get married because the Badak is operating. So because of the Badak, you will not be able to manifest it. And it will bring you a lot of grief, lot of illusion. You'll be stuck because Saturn is grief, right? Sorrow. So they are very, very painful karmic situations. For example, Libra ascendant Leo is a Badak. So someone with a Leo stellium, Leo Sun Atmakaraka, or planets in Leo or Leo Rashi can harm the Libra individual. Suppose for some reason their UL falls in Leo. Now all Libra ascendant will have Leo as Badaka. but all Libra ascendant will not have UL in Badaka. Suppose their Venus is in, Mars is in Leo. It is a problem for Libra ascendants. Libra ascendant with Mars in Leo because 7th Lord is in Badak. Like Nidhi Suvarna said, for Capricorn ascendant, 7th Lord Moon debilitated in Badak. The network, the person from her network who will be emotional attachment to her will bring her lot of misery, sorrow, disease, emotional troubles, emotional mental aberrations, stress, because depression, right? Moon is depression. And it will block her for a very long time and will be very, very painful. So Badak, Badak, 7th Lord, Badak is not good. As you all know, Badak is 11th Lord for all movable signs, 7th Lord for all dual signs, and 9th Lord for all fixed signs. Then Darapada, which is the Aruda of the 7th house, it is called A7. That if associated to Mandi Gulika is not at all good. Vyatipat, these are other Upagrahas, Aprakashi Grahas and all are there, extra planets besides your 9 planets. So Mandi Gulika definitely shows you a lot of instability. Even your Upapada Lagna associated to Gulika is not going to work out that relationship. Even Gulika is associated to certain planets. It can also show that marriage entails a lot of black magic and certain nasty elements. So you have to check for black magic in the chart for other combinations with association to Mars and Badakesha. But usually Gulika with that Upapada or with that A7 is not good. Gulika is a very difficult planet, negative planet. So Gulika association to Upapada is not good. And when the A7 Dharapada is 3rd, 6th, 8th, and 12th from your Aruda Lagna and is not connected to your Aruda Lagna, it means that even if you are very sexual, it will be curtailed. Like, as I said, Mars, Venus conjunction, very sexual. Your Venus is conjunct to that person's Mars. Your Venus is conjunct to that person's Rahu or vice versa. But if your A7 Dharapada is 3rd, 6th, 8th, or 12th, from your Aruda Lagna, then no matter how much of sexual thing you have, it will not be able to manifest. So just don't get excited saying, oh, this fellow has got, his Mars is over my Venus. Rahu is over my Venus or Mars. Then, you look at the chart and some people get fine promise that, oh, we'll be very good in bed. Oh, we'll be very good. We'll have a physical chemistry. They feel that. But when you look at Upapada, you look at AL, you look at A7, the truth is not so simple. That is why do not refer textbooks, learn all these things, make notes. Your A7, Dharapada should not be 3rd, 6th, 8th, and 12th from your AL. Also, AL and your image and your Dharapada, the A7, 7th house. So, Aruda of your Lagna and Aruda of your 7th house. These should not be 6 by 8 in your chart. If that is there, then you yourself have a very horrible attitude. Your AL and your A7 should not be 6 by 8 Chadashtak or 2 by 12. So if your AL and your A7 is say 2 by 12, you will want to just not look at the spouse. You'll ignore the spouse. So many times you may get married to the most beautiful person, most genuine, most humble, very nice person, but your own attitude sucks. So this is where you can check the person's attitude. So when people come to us, when the parents come to us with their children's chart, we tell them what is wrong with the child. They try to remove the faults in the alliance, in the candidate, that this person is manglik and this person is. Then we try to show them the mirror, saying your child is like this. Try to fix your child's behavior. Otherwise, no matter how many marriages they have, they'll all end up in a disaster. So then when calculating multiple relationships, please check, the UL, Ashtam from UL. And that's it then. That's about it. So about directions, the spouse, where the spouse is coming from, you can look at all the movable signs, usually movable, so it is fast moving. So when 7th Lord or Darakaraka is placed in movable sign, the person can come from a far away distance. When in a dual sign, it can come from far away or medium distance, like depending on out of town. When it is in a fixed sign, then it can come from neighborhood, from around your town. So when 7th Lord is in a fixed sign or a particular Upapada is falling in fixed sign, you understand that particular relationship is somewhere from your close network or somewhere from your own region. When you have foreign spouses or out of town spouses, often it is associated to movable signs. All right, I have to leave now. Thanks a lot for the participation. We can have another session maybe again. Shakuntala, Richa, thank you for the question. Venus Ketu in the 7th house. Maybe I'll answer it some other time, but it's past my time now. It is more than 2 hours. Yeah, close to 2 hours. I'll have to take your leave, guys. All those guys who are commenting on their personal charts, I will not be able to comment on that because that is very specific to your chart. Even if you write paragraphs, I'll not be able to comment. I'm so sorry about that. Does D7 keep changing or is fixed? D7, no, I spoke about A7. D7 is Saptamsha chart, Progeny chart. A7 is Darapada. It is the Aruda of your 7th house. It will not change. UL will change because you may be with different partners. You may have 4 relationships in the span of 15 years. 2 years boyfriend, 4 years boyfriend, 1 year boyfriend, and finally get married at all, or you may get married. That is your UL. UL is not your one night stand. It is not your 4-month ghosting, texting relationship. UL is not that. UL is a soulful relationship, which is like a marriage. Upapada. A7 is your business relationship, your sexual relationships, your one night stands, you getting carried away and having a fling. That is your A7. So A7 and A Lord should be well balanced, well placed. Okay, that's about it, guys. Thank you so much for the participation. And I hope you liked this session. I hope I can do another session soon. Please like, subscribe, and share my videos. Also, if you have any consultations regarding your own chart, the spouse profile, where your spouse will come from, what are the characteristics of your spouse, your hidden blockages, how you're behaving in a relationship, how you should behave, any pointers, any remedies that you should do to get a spouse or get a better life, definitely you can contact me on WhatsApp for my consultation for the charges. I'm based in Seattle, so I cater to everybody. If you want, for right now, we have a special going on for the consultation. You can check my Facebook page. Those who have not subscribed, please subscribe. I'll be posting another live video shortly on another exciting topic. Stay tuned until then. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Om Tat Sat. Bye.